Hi, my name is Kyle Nguyen, and my policy is the use and abuse of alcohol. And so the policy that I chose is the use and abuse of alcohol and other drugs. And I chose this to uphold the current policy and focus on the individual consumption use, which states that people under 21 are not able to possess or consume alcohol. And so some key elements are individuals under the age of 21 are not to possess or consume alcohol. Alcoholic beverages may not be sold or consumed in general accessible open areas on campus that are available to the public. Use, possession, manufacture, or distribution of alcoholic beverages or public intoxication while on campus or at university-related activity is prohibited. And so why would I advocate? And so I would like to advocate for the age requirement of 21 to possess or consume alcohol for the better health of those who are underage. Advocating for prohibiting substance possession on university campuses is a commitment to creating a safe and conducive learning environment. By enforcing this prohibition, we prioritize the well-being and academic success of students. It fosters a culture that values sobriety, reduces risks associated with substance abuse, and promotes a healthier and more focused campus community. Also, upholding this policy ensures a space where students can thrive academically, socially, and personally, and free from the detrimental effects of substance misuse. And so, some public health topics. And so, the first one is primary prevention, where primary prevention refers to actions that keep people from becoming ill or injured in the first place. These strategies prevent disease. Primary prevention actions are core elements of public health and health promotion, decreasing or eliminating hazardous exposures and diminishing health compromising behaviors. Also, alcohol consumption has severe health implications, and setting an age limit aims to delay the onset of alcohol use, reduce the risk of addiction, cognitive impairments, and long-term health issues like liver damage. And so part of the net, and from Courtney, she says that part of the net negative effects is the rewiring of the brain circuitry, where alcohol comprises the network of regions that are sensitive to cues that have been associated with subjective feelings of pleasure. These reward cues associates have been characterized by the transmission of dopamine. And finally, we get to the lifespan development, which is the related to the concept from the textbook that states early child behaviors that begin in childhood shift towards regular use, powered by addiction. This is the life era during which patterns of use develop, driven by many factors, including family and peer influences, community availability of substances, and tolerance for experimentation. So who might oppose? When reading about the policy, Section 7 states that athletic events, specifically tailgating, which within sporting events, parking lots, are exempt. Within this junction, those who are over the drinking age of 21 are allowed to consume alcohol. However, one might argue that if there's a ban on alcohol on campus, why is there drinking on tailgates allowed? During the allotted time, SJSU is dedicating its resources to foster a safe drinking environment for those who are of age. Also, the MLDA, there's an argument that states that MLDA should be lowered to 18. Arguments such as the burden of alcohol use state consequences of college drinking, including missed classes, lower grades, injuries, sexual assault, overdoses, memory blackouts, changes in brain function, lingering cognitive deficits, and death, support that drinking during this pivotal time in late adolescence continues to bring negative adverse effects. And so now we bring ourselves to advocacy strategies. And so the first advocacy strategy is petition. And so the overarching goal is to attain the attention of the school. The petition needs about 7,000 signatures, which is a little over 15% of the student population. Once you obtain the signatures, they expect change when we submit the petition to the SJSU president, Cynthia Teniente Matson. It will showcase the level of student interest in a policy that affects their day-to-day. Petitions are a long-established right that that participation has gained increased public attention and political relevance through online technologies and social media. Petition systems that highlight the importance of strengthening the link between citizens and representatives. Also, petitions demonstrate the collective voice of a community. They gather signatures to showcase widespread support for an issue, amplifying the impact and influence on decision makers. And so this brings us to the second advocacy strategy, which engaging with the policymakers. And so the overarching goal is to write letters or be able to meet in person with council members or other decision makers. By meeting with SJSU's president, we hope that we can reach an acknowledgement of the issue, a recognition of the importance of the policy, and a form of commitment to the policy and for consideration. Within What the Eyes Don't See, part of the climax revolved around Hannah Tisha giving a presentation on the data that she obtained with the governor, other members of the government, and news reporters. She also presented one of her patients as a pediatrician of one of her children drinking baby food mixed with lead-filled water. This meeting served to promote and inform the present decision makers to convince them to advocate for the policy. By meeting with decision makers, she engaged with the people who had agency over the policies to personalize the message, as well as to make it more relatable and compelling. Likewise, we aim to meet with SJC Student Affairs Committee and the university president to say the following. The absence of a clear minimum drinking age policy creates an environment where students might engage in unsafe drinking practices without proper guidance or support. This situation can lead to potential risks and health hazards for our student body. Implementing a minimum drinking age policy is not about promoting or condoning underage drinking. Instead, it's about acknowledging the reality that some students may choose to consume alcohol and provide a framework that encourages responsible behavior. And so finally, we have the third advocacy strategy, which is a sit-in. And the overarching goal is to have a sit-in comprised of at least 100 people in front of the SJC president's office. An expected change is to show the president that the minimum legal drinking age is vital for adolescents and underage drinking to thrive and to change the policies. It is a non-violent form of protest and symbolizes unity between the protests. Sit-ins have been instrumental to various civil rights movements as well as other political causes. For example, during the civil rights movement, 4 African-American college students walked up to a whites-only lunch counter at the local Woolworth store in North Carolina. When service was refused, the students sat patiently. Despite threats and intimidation, the students sat quietly and waited to be served. And so sit-ins put pressure on authorities or establishments to address the protesters and their advocacy. Sit-ins is a powerful message that highlights the impact and importance of the representative policy. Sit-ins have been efficacious numerous times in the past for disrupting within a public space where acknowledgement must be made. And that's it. So onto reflections. Something that I found surprising about the advocacy campaign was the complexity of the policies and the timeframes which things occurred in. I actually tried to arrange a meeting with the SJCU president or someone from the student affairs because I wanted to understand specifically why we allow drinking at tailgates, because that's sort of contradictory. It's really popular again amongst about 80% of other universities, but it's sort of hypocritical of the prohibition of alcohol on campus. But I realized that a week and a half is not enough time to allow me to talk to anyone. And I was also surprised about the amount of advocacy tactics that I learned about and the importance of research. You can hear my references. Thank you.